Biomedia is expensive, especially if you got multiple big canisters or even a big old sump. But is all that expensive, fancy, porous media really worth it? Or is it all just great marketing? We're about to find out. Let's go. What's up, guys? Welcome back to KaveMan Aquatics. My name is Kev from KaveManAquatics.com, and on this channel I like making helpful videos on all topics of the aquarium hobby that get straight to the point so that you can get back to enjoying your beautiful fish. So if that's something you like in the channel, then make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any new content. So I've been doing some research on these pot scrubbies right here, and I found out that they're a great source of surface area for your beneficial bacteria. Not only that, but they're dirt cheap. I got this entire package for $7 on Amazon. I'll have a link to my Amazon affiliate store in the description below. Does it have as much surface area as the more expensive fancy stuff? Most likely not. But the real question is, do we really need all that surface area? Your beneficial bacteria grow on all the surfaces inside your tank. They grow on your decor, they grow on your plants, your substrate, they grow on any and all surface areas, although not all surface areas are equal. But still, more than likely you have enough surface area in your tank and inside your filter to house enough beneficial bacteria to handle the bioload in your tank and keep your tank properly cycled. But how much is enough? How do we gauge how much surface area you need in your particular tank? That's a good question. A question I can't really answer because every tank is different. What I can tell you is that you know that your tank is healthy and running the way it should be as long as you keep consistent water parameters of 0 ammonia, 0 nitrites, and under 40 parts per million of nitrates. If you can hit those numbers, then whatever it is that you're currently doing, whatever type of media you're using, it's working. Now, what I can do though is try my own experiment with my own tank, my own bioload, my water, my filters, and share the results with you, and you can make your own judgment call. This is a 2 10-gallon tank with about 50 African cichlids, 40 adults, and about 10 juveniles. I run 2 FX6 canister filters, and I vacuum my substrate weekly. And even though I do 80% water changes weekly, my nitrates reach about 40 to 80 parts per million every week. I'm giving you this info so that you know if these pot scrubbies work in my tank, and your tank isn't as big or overstocked as my tank, then it'll probably work in your tank too. But keep in mind that every tank is different. This 210 is less than a year old, so I wouldn't consider it established. It's relatively a young tank. But that's why I want to try this now. If it works well now, it's only going to work even better as the tank matures. So the plan is to strip my FX6 of its current expensive biomedia and fill it completely with these scrubbies, in the hopes that my tank remains cycled and performing as well as it's been. Very important side note, guys. Normally, you would never want to change out all your biomedia in one shot like this, the way that I'm doing it. Reason is that doing that will most likely crash your cycle because you'll be throwing away the majority of your beneficial bacteria. In my case, I can do this because I have 2 FX6 running. Yes, removing the seeded biomedia will have an impact on my tank, but because I have another seeded filter running, it'll be minimal. The bacteria will reproduce quickly in the new FX6 because of the bacteria that's in my other FX6. Plus, I've got a few tricks to use in the new filter to help boost the bacteria production even more. If you've been with me on the channel for a while, you probably already know what it is. So for those of you that want to try this after I show my results, if you've only got one filter, you'd want to change out your biomedia slowly and gradually, like 25% at a time with at least 2 weeks in between. This will give your bacteria time to grow on your new media before you replace more of the old media. Alright, so let's pop open my filter and I want to show you guys what I was currently running in it and how I had it set up. Let's go to the B-roll. So I've drained the entire canister so I can show you guys the guts here without drenching my floor. Now, I'll get into why I set up my canister the way that I do later on when we're filling it back up. It's very important to understand how to load this canister, but more importantly is the why. Understanding why you do something to your tank will always make you a better fish keeper. It's a caveman quote right there. Okay guys, I drained the entire filter. That way I can show you guys the guts. So my first tray, it's all mechanical. I got a blue pad here for polishing. Doesn't look all that bad. Check it out. Then I've got the fine polishing pad that is totally destroyed. Look at that. This is why you got to change these pads out monthly. It's been about a month. So that's why it's a good time to do this anyway. Then I've got my chemical media. I'll get into this later. But this has also been over a month. Time to change it anyway. Next, I got these Fluval ceramic rings mixed in with some Biohome Ultimate. Very expensive media, guys. As you can see though, the media is pretty clean. There's no poop and no muck on this media, which means that the top tray of mechanical was doing its job. Let's see what's under here. More of the same, guys. Ceramic rings and Biohome Ultimate. Ceramic rings aren't that expensive, but the Biohome Ultimate sure is. And in the last tray, another tray full of Biohome Ultimate. You can see this thing wasn't drained all the way. Glad I had my towel. More Biohome Ultimate. That's a lot of Biohome. That's a lot of money. We're going to get rid of all of this biomedia, and I'm going to replace everything with the sponges and then put it back together. So I'll be back when I got rid of all this stuff as quick as bam, just like that. I know my audio is going to sound a little bit different because the camera's a little more farther away, but I wanted to give you guys a nice spread of what we're about to do right here. So first, let's talk about how water travels inside your FX6 canister. The FX6 is a little special. It's kind of different than other canisters. Water is going to enter your canister and go straight down to the bottom. From the bottom of the canister is going to go up the sides, which are filled with these coarse sponges that go on the sides of your trays. It's going to go up the sides, and when it gets to the top, then it's going to overflow into the center through the center pads right here, these center trays. Water is going to go down the center. So you need to know that to understand the order of your media inside the FX6. Since water is going to overflow into the top tray and go down the center, then your top tray starts with your mechanical media, then biomedia, then chemical on your way down. Now, with that being said, most of us know the general order of media in your filter. Like I said, it goes mechanical, then bio, then chemical. But with the FX6 and the way that it's designed, we're going to do it a little bit differently just to be a little strategic. I got this idea from a great buddy of mine over in the Facebook group. His name is Jeff Thompson. Thank you, Jeff. And if you're not in the Facebook group, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go over there, facebook.com/groups/KaveMan Aquatics, and you'll get great tips like I'm about to show you right now. The strategy is that we're going to go mechanical, then chemical, and finally biomedia. The reason for this is kind of simple. The FX6 can go months and months and months without needing a cleaning. But your chemical media does need replacement after about a month. Like you saw earlier, my chemical media was destroyed. So it's much simpler to have the chemical media in your top tray so that every month you can pop open the top, take out your used up chemical media, and then throw in some new chemical media, put the top back on, and the whole canister goes right back onto your tank without having to disturb all the other trays. This change isn't going to make much of a difference anyway. The water's still going to be very clean before hitting your bottom two trays, which is going to consist of your biomedia. Guys, are you enjoying this video? Are you finding some value? Then do me a favor. Hit that like button right now. It's going to help the video grow, spread to more people that it could help, just like you. I appreciate you. So let's start from the beginning. The first thing that water needs to hit is a coarse sponge to grab the big pieces of poop and detritus and trap it into the sponge so it doesn't continue through your filter and back out to your tank. That happens with these big coarse pads that go around the sides of your baskets. There you go. As water travels up the sides, these will be stacked, right? So as water travels up the sides, it's going to go through each layer of these coarse sponges and then overflow into the center. So we've got the first part of our mechanical filtration done with these big coarse sponges. After your first level of coarse sponge, you want water to go through either a medium or a fine pad. What we're going to use in this case are these Fluval pads. One is a Fluval Max Clean pad. It's like a bluish pad. And the other one is called Quick Clear. This is the fine pad that is very similar to polyfill. The benefit of this over polyfill is that this won't break up and separate into your canister. Another good tip from my Facebook group. I put these in the FX6 during my last cleaning a few months ago, and it's been working great. So I've been using these in the FX6. So now let's work with the top tray. We're going to start with the bottom of the top tray, so it's kind of like we're going in reverse, right? So in the bottom of the top tray is where you want your chemical media. What I'm using, as usual, Chemipure Blue. I'm going to use 2 of these 11-ounce bottles, which they filter 75 gallons each. So a total of 150 gallons of ChemiPure in this one canister, and I've got 2 more bottles in my other canister for a total of 300 gallons worth of ChemiPure Blue in a 210 gallon tank. My other form of chemical media is always going to be Purigen. This one bag of Purigen will filter 100 gallons, so I've got 1 in this canister and another bag in the other canister for a total of 200 gallons. My chemical media is straight. And if you wonder how I get this crystal clear water in my tank, the chemical media has a big role in it. So I'm going to head over to my sink and I'm going to rinse these out properly, especially the ChemiPure Blue. This thing will rinse black water. You got to make sure it's rinsed well before you put it into your canister. If not, all that black dust is going to go right into your tank. So I'll be right back. I'm back. Okay guys, so here we go. Got the 2 bags of ChemiPure Blue, nice and rinsed out. They're going to go right in the bottom. And my rinsed out bag of Purigen, right in the bottom. Check it out. Now above this is going to go first your polishing pad. Here's my last one in the box. Now guys, let me remind you, these boxes, the reason why I'd rather use these, this box is like $3 and this one is like $5 or vice versa, something like that. It's very cheap and they do a great job. So I'll go with these. This is a fine filter pad right here. This is the one that you saw earlier was totally destroyed. This definitely needs to be replaced at least monthly. This is gonna go right on top of your chemical media. And then the blue pad, this one can actually be rinsed and reused. You don't need to replace it every month, which is what I did. Here's my old pad, guys. As you can see, still looks brand new, nice and clean. All I did was rinse it out. And I'm gonna reuse this one. This one goes the top layer. So real quick, let's recap, guys. This is your top tray. Water's gonna go up the sides through your coarse sponges and then overflow into the middle. This blue pad, we'll call that the medium sponge. And then underneath the medium sponge is the white fine pad. Now you got fine filtration. And then water's gonna hit your chemical media. This way, a month later from now, when you pop the top on your canister, you can easily go right into this top tray and replace all of this fine stuff that'll probably be mucked up in a month with new stuff. Pop the top back on and you're good to go. Now in these bottom 2 trays is where we're gonna put our new biomedia, and these shouldn't be touched or messed with for a few months at least, depending on your tank, but the FX6 is capable of going months without doing an entire cleaning and messing with your bacteria. I hope 1 pack is enough because I only got 1 pack. Let's see, maybe I can stand this up, get more space. I think 1.5 of these will fill this tray. The other 1.5 will fill this tray. Should be good to go. A little less than 1.5 actually. Now you know what? I'll put these 2 in there too. So I fit 10 in the basket, standing up. 2 more on top. Call that 1.5 of these bags, and the other 1.5 will go into the bottom tray. There you go. Got 1 package, filled the 2 bottom trays, nice and packed. Let's get this put back together. Have you been paying attention, or you just been watching the fish the whole time behind me? Well, I can tell you that 80% of the fish in my tank came from one place, coastalcichlids.com. My buddy Neil has a great service and even better fish. So go check him out, and you can use my code KaveMan15 for a 15% discount on your order, good until May 10th, 2021. And if you're watching this after that date, then use my code KaveMan10 for a 10% discount. Now, if you don't know what these fish are, these are African cichlids, minus the big old parrotfish right here. But with my new online video course, Keeping African Cichlids, you'll learn everything there is to know about keeping and raising these beautiful fish. Or if you already have an African cichlid tank, but you know there's so much more to learn, then this course is also perfect for you. Enrollment is currently closed, but you can join the waitlist at KaveManAquatics.com/keepingAfricanCichlids, and you'll be notified of the next open enrollment. Link will be in the description. Now I could just throw this right back onto the tank and let the tank fill up the canister, but then I'd have to fill up the tank. So what we're gonna do instead is I'm gonna fill up this canister with water. I'm gonna add some prime to it to dechlorinate that water, and then I'm gonna add stability directly into the canister to help boost the beneficial bacteria production and growth inside this canister. How much stability am I gonna add? Well, I'm gonna dose the entire amount for a 210 gallon right here into this canister. And the way I like to do it, guys, is through this tube right here. This is the tube where water enters and goes straight to the bottom of your canister. You don't really have to do that. It's just kind of a superstitious thing for me. I'd rather put it right in here and know that the product is getting completely cycled inside the canister before it goes out back to your tank. So here we go. It's okay to have some spillage. There you go, 3 of these 25 milliliter cups, enough for a 210 gallon. And I'm not gonna forget my prime to dechlorinate the water that's about to go in here. All you need is 1 capful of that for this canister. Also down the tube. All right, let's go fill this baby up. I want to give one more big thank you to Jeff Thompson over in my Facebook group. If it wasn't for Jeff, I would never try these Fluval pads, which I'm now using inside the top tray of my FX6, along with my chemical media, my Chemi Pure Blue and my Purigen. Makes total sense why they should go in the top tray of the FX6, and if it wasn't for Jeff and his genius, I would have never thought of it. So thank you, Jeff. And if you're not in my Facebook group yet, here's the link right here. Make sure you go check it out, and you'll get cool tips and suggestions just like these. Alright guys, we're all filled up. Got the top back on. I'm going to connect this back to the tank. But a lot of people ask me the same question, so I'm going to go over real quick how you want to open your valves when you connect your FX6 back to your tank. Let's get it in first. Okay guys, so the order that you connect your valves doesn't really matter. What matters is the order that you open your valves. Now before plugging your canister in, after you got your valves connected, what you want to do is open the inlet valve first. This is going to release the water that you had trapped in this hose. It's going to push the water now into the canister, but now it's trapped inside the canister. So to get it out of the canister, now we're going to open the out valve. And listen to the sound that the canister makes. You hear that? That's water from your tank filling up your canister. Even though I filled it up, there's no way I can fill it all the way to the top completely full. So by doing it this way, now your tank is completely full and sealed and primed, and now it's ready to be plugged in. Now is when you plug it in and your canister will work like magic. Alright, now that we've got that done, don't run out and just go change your biomedia now for some cheap pot scrubbies. Don't do that yet. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I've read and researched a lot about these scrubbies and I've heard good stories, but like anything in this hobby, you don't know anything until you try it and confirm it yourself. So I'm gonna run this experiment. It's gonna take a while, probably about maybe 2 months until we get an update on this. I'm gonna wait about a month for this canister to get seeded with beneficial bacteria, and then a month later I'm going to do the same thing to my second FX6, wait about a month. So in a total of about 2 months we'll see an updated video on how my tank is doing with these pot scrubbies, and only pot scrubbies as biomedia in both my FX6s. So if you want to see that video, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Until then, watch one of these videos up here. YouTube and I think that you'll like them. Peace.